Support Wrestle Talk!
Enable notifications. Cody Rhodes wins the NWA title, Chris Jericho makes a shock appearance, and Dick Druids. Dick Druids are now a thing. I'm Ollie Davis. Press the thumbs up and vote in the poll above my head to give your thoughts on the show, where you can choose from 7 stars, being the elite, sports entertained, really big bingo hall, or just a bunch of Dick Druids. While I review All In about 4 minutes. The pre-show featured a really fun match of SoCal Uncensored going over the Briscoes, and fun spot after fun spot in the over-budget Battle Royal, with Billy Gunn and Tommy Dreamer not doing dives, Jordan Grace hitting a wazab on Bully Ray, and the Hurricane running wild, which had a great finish where Bully thought he'd won, but a generic luchador threw him over the top rope and revealed itself as Flip Gordon. But the real star of the show was the incredible WWE levels of production, the stage, the camera work, the Titantron, and the huge former WWE star, Pyro. Matt Cross beat MJF with a shooting star in the main card's decent opener. Christopher Daniels, Stephen Amell, and special guest referee Jerry Lynn worked a really smart match, not just hiding Amell's inexperience in the ring, but also emphasizing his daredevil strengths, hitting a Van Terminator across the ring and crashing through a table on the outside. So he was Shane McMahon then. Tessa Blanchard winning the women's 4-way next happened rather suddenly. A decent match, but I could have done without the compulsory "we're all women so we must hug afterwards" spot. Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis was a masterpiece in presentation. Having more in common with a big-time boxing match than professional wrestling, the crowd was heavily invested in Cody winning the NWA title, not just because of his father's history with the belt, but because arguably this was the night's only match with real stakes. Cody proved to be his father's son with a brutal-looking blade job, but a weird spot where his wife Brandy accidentally got hit by an Aldis flying elbow felt surplus, as it never really played into anything, and she was totally fine a few minutes after. The presentation, larger story, and big-time feel more than made up for it though. Switching the tone completely, Hangman Page beat Joey Janela in a Chicago street fight next. Drivers through ladders, powerbombs off stages, violence against women. This was an insane match that had it all, Dick Druids included, where Joey Ryan returned from the dead in the post-match angle. Sometimes I find myself embarrassed when a friend or family member walks in on me watching some parts of wrestling, like Big Cass beating up a little person, or Halloween-themed comedy matches on Raw. Not this time! The Dick Druids work even better out of context! Jay Lethal beating Flip Gordon while playing his Randy Savage tribute character Black Machismo wasn't what I expected for this match. I thought it would be a plucky underdog proving ground for Gordon, but it was only ever really treated as comedy, which kind of summarizes All In as a whole. A camp celebration of wrestling fandom instead of everyone trying to win match of the year. Kenny Omega beating Pentagon Jr. was most definitely the match of this night though. They have incredible chemistry together, and the last few minutes were the best on the show for me. But one blackout spot later, and Pentagon is replaced by an amazing shock appearance from Chris Jericho, who attacked Omega and promoted his cruise. The story of Marty Scurll versus Kazuchika Okada was the villain trying to prove himself as a serious wrestler on Okada's level, and then using an All In branded umbrella anyway. The last few minutes were great, as it always is in Okada matches. Sadly, the show had gone too long. I wouldn't cut a thing! And the 6-man tag main event didn't get the time it deserved. Not that they cut any of the spots though, they just did all 133 big moves in half the time. It was just one long hot tag, with every guy looking amazing, particularly Rey Mysterio in his Wolverine outfit and Bandido doing anything. The Young Bucks picked up the win with the Meltzer driver, fitting considering it was Big Dave's tweet that sparked this whole event, with just 3 seconds before the pay-per-view feed was cut off. There was no Neville, there was no CM Punk, and you know what? All In didn't need them. We got Cody winning the title, a celebrity throwing themselves through a table, hardcore spots, a Chris Jericho cameo, Omega versus Pentagon. Sure, it wasn't the great in-ring wrestling show that many, myself included, expected, with at least one classic match like all this year's NXT takeovers, but it was tremendously fun, and hopefully it's the start of something bigger. All In was being the elite. What next for Kevin Owens after he quit WWE Raw? Click the video on screen now to find out, and give us a subscribe to never miss a future video. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.